हेलो। और बेटा एक आरसी हो जाए, ऑलराइट। और एज यूजुअल आज के भी आरसी का जो डिस्क्रिप्शन में पीडीएफ रहेगा, तो यू कैन वर्क फ्रॉम देयर एंड ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन डाउनलोड द ऐप एंड गेट फ्री एक्सेस टू अ लॉट ऑफ कंटेंट। इनफैक्ट फ्री डाउट सॉल्विंग सेशंस भी आपको मिल जाएंगे एंड देन you can also make some money through iCoins, which we have talked about a lot, and the batches 27 and 28 for IPBAT. Or now you may read it. I'll pause it for, I'll stop it for say 5-6 seconds. Question 1, that is. Question 2. Question 3. Question 4. Question 5. And finally, question 6. So we get back to the passage reading. You have already solved it. अब हम इस पे एक बार पूरा पढ़ के डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. Let's see how many questions you get right. All right. अच्छा पैसेज है आज का, चैलेंजिंग है थोड़ा सा. All right. Anyone who has learned a second language has probably noticed that there is rarely a perfect correspondence between the words and expressions of one language and another. जब आप ट्रांसलेशन देखते हो ना तो बहुत डिफरेंट होता है जब आप डब मूवी देखते हैं. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. दैट इज व्हाट द फर्स्ट लाइन सेज, दैट एनीवन हु हैज लर्नड अ सेकंड लैंग्वेज has probably noticed that there is rarely a perfect correspondence between the words and expressions of one language and another. Perfect translation तो नहीं होता है, perfect correspondence नहीं हो पाता है. Even simple phrases often carry slightly different meanings because they arise from distinct cultural assumptions and ways of thinking. तो जब different cultural assumptions हैं and ways of thinking हैं, then obviously जो उसका output होगा वो भी different होगा. Switching between languages can therefore feel like stepping into another world where people describe reality from a different perspective. People describe reality from a different perspective. Hence, the phrases and terms, they make different meanings. But is this merely an illusion? Does each language simply express ideas differently, or does it actually shape how its speakers thinks? And यहाँ पे author last में दो questions लाके हम पे छोड़ देता है कि is this merely an illusion, या फिर does each language simply express ideas differently, or does it क्या सिर्फ express करता है या does it actually shape how its speakers think? Okay, today these questions are commonly discussed under the idea of linguistic relativity. तो अब एक concept आया है क्या? The idea of linguistic relativity, often associated with Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. इस hypothesis अगर explain कर रहे हैं तो probably you can expect a question. If they don't explain, you don't have a question coming from there. Although contemporary researchers investigate the subject through empirical methods, which are data-based. Empirical methods, the debate itself stretches back several centuries. तो जो modern researchers हैं, they investigated through empirical methods. हालांकि the debate itself stretches back to several centuries. Debate तो बहुत पुरानी है. At its core lies a fundamental question about human language. A long-standing tradition in Western philosophy, dating back to Aristotle, held that words are simply labels attached to ideas that already exist. तो Aristotle की philosophy के through words are simply labels attached to the ideas that already exist. That's it. तो words का बट एक ही रोल था कि वो बस जो ideas है उसको express करते थे. Ideas already existed. Linguistic relativity challenges this assumption. और जो ये linguistic relativity की theory आई है, this challenges the Aristotle वाला assumption by suggesting that language is not merely a tool for expressing thought, but may also influence the way thought itself is organized. Language केवल express नहीं करती है, it also influences the way thought itself is organized. If languages differ in meaningful ways, could they also encourage different ways of perceiving and interpreting the world? फिर एक सवाल और आता है कि if language differ in meaningful ways, could they also encourage different ways of perceiving and interpreting the world? ठीक, तो यहाँ पे अब one thing we need to know is take care of is linguistic relativity and how it challenges the philosophy of Aristotle, the Western philosophy, sorry. The roots of this debate can be traced to the Enlightenment, where when scholars spoke of the genius of a language. Now what is the genius of a language? Its distinctive character or unique way of expressing reality. Although the term was often used loosely, it generally referred to the idea that every language embodied something of a mentality of its speakers. हर भाषा में there is some part of mentality of speakers that is contained. A particularly influential account appeared in 1772, और अब एक particularly influential account आता है 1772 में, when the German philosopher Johann Gottfried von Herder याद कर लेते हैं, ठीक है, argued that human language arises from our unique capacity for reflection. इन्होंने argue किया that human language arises from our unique capacity for reflection, that is observation. Unlike animals, human beings consciously recognize the characteristics of the things around them and choose words based on the features they consider more significant. अब क्या ना, human beings can recognize the objects and choose words based on the features they consider most significant, और फिर words choose करते हैं उसको describe करने के लिए. Since different communities notice different aspects of the world, their languages gradually come to reflect distinct perspectives. हम लोग का नजरिया अलग अलग होता है चीजों को देखने का, तो obviously उसको express करने का भी तरीका अलग हो जाता है, and that is how languages evolve. As these languages are passed from one generation to the next, such differences accumulate, making each language an increasingly unique way of understanding reality. तो Herder sir ने बोला that human beings can observe things, and as they observe they choose the words, and human beings observe different aspects of the world. तो obviously जो word वो choose करते हैं वो भी different हो जाते हैं. Slowly as it passes on from one generation to the next, such differences accumulate, making each language an increasingly unique way of understanding reality. Herder's ideas were later developed by Wilhelm von Humboldt. Okay, तो Herder के ideas को develop किया later on Humboldt ने, ठीक है, who argued that language does not merely reflect thought, but also helps shape it. इन्होंने theory और आगे बढ़ाई और बोला कि language does not merely reflect the thought, but it also helps shape it. Yet, he did not see this relationship as one-sided. Thoughts influence language just as language influences thought, creating a continuous process in which each shapes the other. ये important line आया from Humboldt, who says that each shapes the other. That is, thoughts influence the language and language influences the thought. For Humboldt, grammar and vocabulary alone could never capture the true character of a language. To understand it fully, one had to look beyond its formal structure to the way it was used by its greatest speakers and writers. Language, therefore, was not simply a system of rules, grammar as is, but a living expression of how people understood the world. और यही बात Herder ने भी कही थी that people understand the world differently and they choose different words to express their ideas. And same thing is developed further by Herder. तो एक वो linguistic relativity की theory आ गई, एक Western philosophy वाली theory आ गई, और एक Herder और एक Humboldt. चार चीजें हमें याद रखनी है when we try to answer the questions. All right, question number 1. Which of the following best captures the role played by Herder and Humboldt in the passage? Okay. They argue that every language produces an entirely unique worldview that cannot be understood by outsiders. Beta, they catch word that cannot be understood. ऐसा तो दोनों ने मेंशन नहीं किया है कि एक लैंग्वेज यूज करने वाले दूसरी लैंग्वेज से बिल्कुल कुछ समझ ही नहीं पाएंगे. क्या चीज? वर्ल्ड व्यू that cannot be understood. Absolutely incorrect. B, They demonstrate that grammar is the primary factor distinguishing one language from another. In fact, in the last वो बोला है grammar and vocab alone cannot. ठीक है, तो obviously they are not the primary distinguishing factor. It is the worldview and how the thought influences the language and language influences the thought. It's not only about grammar. हटाते हैं. See, they jointly reject the idea that language merely reflects thought by arguing that language participates in shaping human understanding through, though in different ways. I think जो हडर ने डेवलप Humboldt ने जो डेवलप किया हडर का आइडिया वो exactly यही था, that thought expresses influences language and language influences thought. तो इसको होल्ड करते हैं, डी देखते हैं क्या बोलता है. They establish that differences between languages arise mainly because societies consciously preserve their cultural traditions. Beta, there is no discussion about preservation of cultural traditions. Straightforward, eliminated. We get back to C as the answer. Next, the passage most strongly suggests that the idea of linguistic relativity differs from Aristotelian view because it treats language primarily as a product of historical and political circumstances rather than human cognition. But there is no aspect of these things that has been discussed. Historical, political viewpoint discuss नहीं हुआ है, हटाते हैं. B argues that different languages possess fundamentally different grammatical systems. एरिस्टोटल ने तो ग्रामेटिकल सिस्टम, वेस्टर्न फिलॉसफी उस टाइम पे ग्रामेटिकल सिस्टम चल रहा था, बट देन रिलेटिविटी जो लिंग्विस्टिक रिलेटिविटी थी ये अलग चीज पे आई थी. इट वाज नॉट बेस्ड ऑन ग्रामर इटसेल्फ. ठीक है, टोटली ग्रामर, तो डिफरेंट ग्रामेटिकल सिस्टम्स का डिस्कशन भी नहीं हुआ वहां पे. C rejects the possibility that people speaking different languages can communicate effectively. Rejects the possibility. अरे communication तो है ही different languages में. D questions whether language simply labels. Yeah, Western philosophy कह रहा था कि words simply label the thoughts. That's it. Simply labels pre-existing ideas instead of influencing the organization of thought itself. और relativity वाली अगर आप, if you go back and you see that, a long-standing tradition in Western philosophy, dating back to Aristotle, held that words are simply labels attached to the ideas that already exist. Linguistic relativity challenges this assumption by suggesting that language is not merely a tool for expressing thought, but may also influence the way thought itself is organized. Clean cut यहाँ पे बड़ा mentioned है. We have no doubt. Questions whether challenges whether language simply labels pre-existing ideas instead of influencing the organization of thought itself. So I think we can go with D for Delhi. All right. Number 3. Which of the following, if true, would most seriously weaken the line of reasoning presented in the passage? All right. So we take them one by one. A. Careful experiments consistently show that speakers of structurally different languages perform identically on cognitive tasks involving perception and categorization. But I think this will weaken. Answer शायद मिल गया हमको, क्योंकि identically on cognitive tasks इसका मतलब language is not playing any role. But साफ साफ पैसेज में लिखा हुआ है कि language shapes the thought as thought shapes the लैंग्वेज. और ये क्या कह रहा है, परफॉर्म आइडेंटिकली ऑन कॉग्निटिव टास्क, व्हिच मींस लैंग्वेज ने कोई भी पर्सपेक्टिव शेप नहीं किया है, वो आइडेंटिकल है फॉर एवरीबॉडी. आई थिंक दिस विल वीकन. अभी होल्ड कर लेते हैं, बी पे आते हैं. सेवरल लैंग्वेजेस शेयर सिमिलर ग्रामेटिकल फीचर्स डिस्पाइट डेवलपिंग इन डिफरेंट ज्योग्राफिकल रीजन्स. बेटा ये मेन डिस्कशन है ही नहीं हमारे पैसेज का, ग्रामेटिकल फीचर्स का. सी लैंग्वेजेस फ्रीक्वेंटली बोरो वोकैबुलरी फ्रॉम नेबरिंग कम्युनिटीज ओवर लॉन्ग periods. Again, the discussion is not about vocab. D. Many multilingual individuals report feeling more comfortable expressing certain emotions in one language than another. बेटा ये तो फिर strengthen करेगा. Because many multilingual individuals report feeling more comfortable expressing certain emotions in one language than another. Which means what? That languages के पर्सपेक्टिव्स अलग अलग हैं, तो एक में हम बेटर एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं, दूसरे में उतना नहीं कर पाएंगे. ये तो वीकन तो नहीं करेगा, स्ट्रेंथन कर देगा. लेट अस गो बैक टू ए, दैट इज वीकनिंग द स्टेटमेंट. Number 4. Which of the following assumptions is most essential to Herder's explanation of how languages become different? Okay. Languages become increasingly complex as civilizations become more advanced. Increasingly complex. I don't think that complexity का कोई discussion आया है यहाँ पे, ठीक है? Expression का आया है. B. Different communities do not necessarily assign equal importance to the same features of the world around them. But if you remember, Herder की theory में क्या discuss किया था? That people see the different aspects of world in a different manner, and hence they find different words and phrases to explain them. So I think we can hold this. C. Human beings consciously redesign their languages to reflect changing cultural values. Consciously, वो evolve होता है. It is not a conscious effort. And also, cultural values पे इतना discussion नहीं हुआ हमारा. D. Every language develops independently without external influence from other languages. हमारे हर्डर सर ने इस पे कोई बात नहीं की है. उन्होंने कहा था different world view का different perspectives माने different phrases and terms to explain, and hence we go back to B. Different communities do not necessarily assign equal importance to the same features of the world around them. Number 5, the author's discussion on the 19th century shift toward empirical linguistics primarily serves to, okay, toward empirical linguistics, data-based linguistics पे आ गया था. अच्छा, argue that modern linguistics focuses exclusively on grammar and sound change. Okay, grammar and sound change पे तो discussion नहीं था भाई कोई, तो eliminate करते हैं इसको. B. Demonstrate that earlier theories about language had been conclusively disproved by scientific evidence. Disprove नहीं किया है, comparison है, कोई scientific evidence disprove करने का नहीं है बेटा उसको. C. Explain why questions linking language and thought temporarily lost prominence despite earlier philosophical interest. Let's see it. Oh. Just give me a... I think we need to... Okay, we are back. The author's discussion of the 19th century shift towards empirical linguistics primarily serves to argue that modern linguistics focuses exclusively on grammar and sound change. ये बिल्कुल भी ऐसा नहीं, हम तो thought out पे लेके आ गए हैं चीजों को. Okay, so इस basis पे इसको हटाया. B. Demonstrate that earlier theories about language had been conclusively disproved by scientific evidence. Conclusively disproved theory ही खारिज कर दिया, ऐसा भी नहीं है. C. Explain why questions linking language and thought temporarily lost prominence despite earlier philosophical interest. पहले था philosophical interest, but temporarily उसको lose कर दिया. Hold करते हैं. D. Establish that empirical methods are fundamentally incompatible with philosophical inquiry. ये नहीं बात हुई थी कि यहाँ पे fundamentally incompatible हैं दोनों. This was not discussed. एक बार चल के देख लेते हैं वहाँ पे. हाँ. Today, these questions are commonly discussed under the idea of linguistic relativity, often associated with Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. Although contemporary researchers investigate the subject through empirical methods, the debate itself stretches back several centuries. At its core lies a fundamental question about human language. A long-standing tradition in Western philosophy dating back to Aristotle held that words are simply labels attached to ideas that already exist. Linguistic relativity challenges this assumption by suggesting that language is not merely a tool for expressing thoughts, but may also influence the way thought itself is organized. Fine. So, and also, ठीक है, हाँ, यहाँ से हम pick कर सकते हैं. Number 4 था ना? नहीं, number 5 था, sorry. So I think we can stick to see why questions linking languages and thought temporarily lost prominence despite earlier philosophical interest. Next, which of the following can be most reasonably inferred from the passage as a whole? What can we derive? A. The debate over linguistic relativity has persisted because neither the view that language shapes thought nor the view that it merely expresses thought completely explain human experience. वो दोनों को combine करके चलेगा. Thought influences language and language influences the thought. So I think इसको हम infer कर सकते हैं कि इसमें अकेला कोई भी स्टैंड अलोन कंप्लीटली एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं दे सकता है। बी, कंटेम्पररी रिसर्च हैज लार्जली कंफर्म्ड द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट वर्जन ऑफ लिंग्विस्टिक रिलेटिविटी प्रपोज्ड बाय अर्ली फिलोसफर। हैज लार्जली कंफर्म तो नहीं है, वो तो चैलेंज कर रहा था बेटा, तो इसको तो हटाते हैं। सी, the principal contribution of modern linguistics has been to replace philosophical speculation with definitive answers. We still don't have definitive answers. And plus, replace philosophical, ये भी नहीं है। D, differences between languages are more significant for cultural identity than cognition. Again, गलत बोल रहा है, it is not significant for cultural identity. It was for awareness and perspective. And how do they express that perspective? तो इसको हटाते हैं and we go back to A, the debate over linguistic relativity has persisted because neither the view that language shapes thought nor the view that it merely expresses thought completely explains human experience. All right, तो अब आप बेटा देख लो कितने सही हुए। This was a good passage by the way, ठीक है, थोड़ा तो मुश्किल हुआ है लेकिन कोई बात नहीं, मेहनत किया है, पैसा जीतो थोड़ा यार, ठीक है। And then again join the batches and bye, see you.